Please join me in welcoming the North Campus President, Dr. Malou C. Harrison.
Good morning. Good morning, North Campus. It is so wonderful to see all of you here today. I'd like to welcome back our faculty from a very well-deserved vacation and time off. I know many of you had the opportunity to travel. And I'd also like to welcome some brand new colleagues, and they'll be introduced more formally later on. But, you know, who said that we could not get together at 8 a.m., right? So I know it's a very early hour. We were up super early yesterday for the college convocation. And some of us got stuck on the Turnpike and on 826 and 95 and so forth. But I want to thank you sincerely for being here. We are also being joined by some district colleagues from across the college. I'm not sure if they're here yet. Miss Elaine Spence from HR, as well as Teresa Grandal from Resource Development, and tremendous colleagues in terms of the support that they provide. And it was so muggy outside. I know some of you are still, fanning, but you're going to cool down very quickly here. And just thank you for the community and the camaraderie that we always, and the fellowship that we always experience here as a North Campus family. It's truly heartwarming, and I feel fortunate to be here with such a group of dedicated individuals for the cause of students. So welcome to our annual campus convocation. And, I want to start by saying that our college provost yesterday and our college president spoke about the large number of students that we'll be welcoming this fall term, and it's a wonderful thing. And here at the North Campus, what I'd like to do is, just as the messages yesterday, particularly from College Provost and Executive Vice President Dr. Odicio, honed in and focused on our strategic plan, the plan and the priorities that guide us here at Miami-Dade. What I'd like to do today is look at ourselves here at the North Campus to see how we are making a difference and contributing to the successes that the college is experiencing. And so the great news is that the North Campus was up in enrollment for the summer term, thanks to all of you. Thank you very much. And we're also experiencing an increase in enrollment, and I just got the figures this morning. They came through at about 7 a.m. We're experiencing an enrollment increase as compared with last fall here at the North Campus, 2.1%. And this all points to student access and success. Our first time in college retention rate at the North Campus is 83.6%. And that's outstanding. We know we can do better, and we will continue to ensure that our students are equipped with all the tools and supports for their persistence and their completion here at the North Campus and our Meek Center. Our enrollment of high school and middle school dual enrollment students increased considerably last year. We are so proud of our Summer Enrichment Academy C-STARS program, established by Dean Georgette Perez and her student services team, where we enrolled 200 plus middle schoolers, the little ones, here this summer. And to our faculty who taught these bright minds and these very young students, you can tell us all about, how engaged they were. I understand that they were very, very mature for their ages, and some of you are nodding. So thank you to everyone who had a part in that. And we see just how rich our student population is here at the North Campus. We have veteran students, our homeless students, students who have aged out of foster care, our international students, students with disabilities, our ESOL and GED students, our police and fire academy students, all of the certificate, associate degree, and baccalaureate degree seeking students. What a diverse student body you serve, we serve, and what a difference we're making in so many students' lives who otherwise would not have the opportunity that they are receiving here at the North Campus. And while I called, categorical groups of students, we always need to remember that every single student has a name. All of our students are individuals. Every single one of our students has a story. Many of our students are facing and fighting major challenges and adversity, as our college president shared and emphasized yesterday. Yet with your instruction, your mentorship, your advisement, your nurturing, our students are able to persevere and accomplish their dreams. And thank you. And talking about just how we regard students and how we care for students, one of our colleagues yesterday told me that she does not accept any other assignment at commencement other than standing right by the stage, right? She's one of the stage marshals because she wants to be able to hug every single student that has such a proud look on their faces as they're about to cross that stage. And commencement is truly a very special time for us, and I know that every one of us has a hand in making it very special for our students. As we look at access and success, I'd be remiss not to mention our change-making initiative, where we're working to instill a mindset of change-making and a spirit of social innovation in our students and personnel at the campus. From ISED, EEI, and our GCELS faculty, to our human rights learning and action initiatives, thanks to the International Solidarity for Human Rights, and Professor Podreski, Shawnee Frost, and the Human Rights Committee. Our ESUBA work in the prisons, led by Professor Samantha Carlo and Dr. Minka Davis-Brantley in the prisons. And you'll hear from Dr. Scott Murphy and his students. I met some of his students earlier about the work that they did in New Orleans this summer. And our food pantry for students. Professor Garman, I'm not sure, oh, I see you right there. Are we in for another high tea fundraiser next year? Yes. That collaboration is truly second to none in bringing us all together for a truly, truly important cause, the food insecurity of our students. And so the point is that we're providing opportunities here at North Campus that empower our students to identify and bring resolutions to issues and problems in our community. Our students are making a difference in our community and in their own lives. Stay tuned for our Impact Integration Workshop on September 20th, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more from Dr. Rodriguez and Evelyn Rodriguez, our co-chairs, and the Impact Committee of faculty and staff. Last but not least, many of you were a part of expanding access and student success through our Free College for a Day initiative at North Campus and Meek, established by our Dean of Faculty, Dr. Jackie Pena. And what you saw there was the community coming on campus to experience a real college class, many, many college classes and a college experience. Many thanks to our faculty who gave up their Saturday to teach and to otherwise show the community what a class at Miami-Dade College North Campus is like, and all the administrators and staff that it took to serve the approximately 700 attendees at Free College for a Day. And the work of our student services colleagues, they've been working really night and day, and that's not cliche, all summer to make sure that our students were matriculated not only for the summer terms, but for the fall term. And I'd like to ask my student services colleagues in the room to please stand, because I want to recognize you just for how integral you are to everything that takes place in terms of the success of our students. Don't be shy, stand up. Thank you. There'd be no us without you, so thank you very much. MDC's second strategic plan priority is educational quality. Our 10 general education outcomes are our college's standards, as you know, and we've continued to educate and enable educational quality through the curriculum and the co-curriculum with the Big Ten, as well as the program outcomes in our CTE programs. Serving on our LOTE this year, the Learning Outcomes Assessment Team, are many of our faculty members, and Professor Kay Rubin will be talking to us later on some of the updates from LOCC, the Learning Outcomes Coordinating Council, and also the LOAT. So we look forward to that. Also under the umbrella of educational quality, we've paid attention to the North Campus adjunct faculty this year in an effort to provide them with professional development relative to effective pedagogies, Blackboard learning, and related topics. And under the leadership of Dr. Pena, our Dean of Faculty, we offered 2 professional development workshops where over 100 adjunct faculty attended. And I have to tell you that that's unprecedented at Miami-Dade College to have such a robust showing and participation of our adjuncts. So thank you, Dr. Pena. Many thanks. You can applaud as many times as you want. In that same regard, I'd like to thank our full-time faculty because many of you served as mentors and facilitators at our adjunct faculty workshop, and that connection and integration between our full-time and adjuncts truly makes a great difference in terms of bringing our adjunct faculty on board. Our Quality Enhancement Plan initiative, Writing for Careers, spearheaded, championed, and first implemented by our outstanding School of Justice faculty. Where are our School of Justice faculty? Under the leadership of Dr. Socorro, the Dean of the school, is another example of educational quality that the North Campus actually can take great credit for. We have so much more, and when I talk about educational quality, our student and art exhibitions, ensembles, and concerts from our Arts and Philosophy department that enrich us all year, our School of Science summer undergraduate research, and Dr. Belmont, she's right there, tells me that we had the largest class of undergraduate student researchers this summer. And that's well over 100 that conducted research with our faculty members. And so I want to thank each and every one of you that provided that high-impact practice initiative for our students. Our Social Science Department's Holocaust Awareness Day, a living memorial through education, as well as the Psychology, Career, and Advisement Fair. Our English and Communications Department's National Poetry Month activities was brand new this year. Thank you very much. And our award-winning Access Literary Arts magazine. Our annual World Languages Essay and Poetry Competition, another example of quality. The annual Architecture Showcase, the innovation and opportunities our engineering and technology faculty provide for our students. Our business department's Entrepreneurship Week and BAS newsletter, Let's Talk Business. Our math department's STEM Midnight Madness, which provides much needed tutoring and academic assistance for students during finals week. Our Student Film Festival from SEDT and our signature D3 Design Conference. I could go on and on and on and on, but what I'd like to do is to show you and recognize some of the faculty who have contributed, just some, because we have many. And these faculty actually earned continuing contract and promotion this year. So help me to recognize them as I call their names, and I ask you to please stand as I call your name. We have 2 faculty members who received continuing contract and earned it. And they are Professor Joseph Finocchiaro. I saw you, Professor Finn, where are you? Dr. Raif Yassin from engineering. And I'm going to ask you to hold your applause until the end. But faculty, please stand so that we can take a good look at you, because the following faculty have earned a promotion in rank. Professor Elizabeth Buchholz from Criminal Justice, Associate Professor, Senior. Professor Josh Ellis, Film and Digital Production, Associate Professor. Professor Lázara Ferrer, Mathematics, Associate Professor. Professor Joe Finocchiaro, Funeral Service Education, Assistant Professor. Professor Elena Fresquet, Arts and Philosophy, Assistant Professor. Professor Kara Gluscotter, Social Sciences, Associate Professor, Senior. Dr. Karen Horowitz, Criminal Justice, Associate Professor, Senior. Professor Amnel Molina, Arts and Philosophy, Assistant Professor. Dr. Leon Palombo, World Languages, Associate Professor, Senior. Dr. Robert Remick, Arts and Philosophy, Associate Professor, Senior. Dr. Marina Rodriguez, English and Communications, Professor. Dr. Matthew Hsu, Arts and Philosophy, Professor. Dr. Sabrina Walters, English and Communications, Associate Professor, Senior. Dr. Raif Yassin, Engineering, Associate Professor. And last but not least, Associate Professor, Senior, Professor Maria Sabala, Architecture. Let's give them a round of applause. Continuing with quality, I now want to recognize this year's North Campus Endowed Teaching Chairs. First off, the John and Elizabeth Road Endowed Teaching Chair honoree is Professor Sarah Garman. And also from the North Campus, the Ruth and Jack Casawis Endowed Teaching Chair, and the honoree is Dr. Ginny Peterson-Tennant. Congratulations to both of you, and the college, as you know, honors our Endowed Teaching Chair recipients each year with a grand event, and we look forward to also honoring you right here at home at the North Campus later on this year. I also want to mention that I felt very proud yesterday, and I hope you did, when our UFMDC president, Professor Liz Ramsey, gave a very complimentary shout out to a couple of our faculty members for the work that they're doing and have done with Maria Vizcaíno, the editor-in-chief of The Reporter last year. Professor Gluscotter, you were mentioned. Professor Renee Choi, you were also mentioned, and our media advisor, Manolo Barco. So kudos to each of you, and thank you for representing our campus so well. Our students, the spotlight of our institution, also contribute in meaningful ways to the quality of our institution. And I'd like to just speak about a few of the accolades that our students and their organizations have received, and to highlight the faculty and staff mentors and advisors that lead and guide our students in these organizations. And if it were not for their leadership, our students truly, truly would be hard-pressed to reach such heights of excellence. And so receiving community service awards this year, and please hold your applause till the end. Minorities of the future. Advisors are Joshua Arjona and Carlton Daly. Our Political Science Club, Professor Richard Tapia is the advisor. National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. The advisor is Dr. Jenny Peterson Tennant. Influential, Ambitious, Motivated Women, IMW, Ms. Eon McMail is the advisor. Our Access Creative Arts Magazine and Club, Professors Carmen Bucher and Professor Kathleen Noonan. And our Student Government Association, Mr. Sherman Gant, the advisor. Let's give them a round of applause. And our Phi Beta Lambda PBL Society swept again this year. In the statewide competition, 10 of our North Campus students placed in first or second place in their respective categories, and 7 of those students placed in the top 10 nationally. Many thanks to Professor Renee Choi and Professor Nairi Smith. And I know that there were many other business faculty that supported Professors Choi and Smith, and I want to make sure that you know that your work and collaboration is duly recognized as well. Our Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society also made its mark this year. 5-star chapter for the 6th consecutive year. Top 10 chapter in the state of Florida. International Award for Distinguished College Project. Regional Award for Distinguished College Project. And one of its members, Rachel Diaz de la Cruz, many of you had Rachel in your classes, was selected as an All-USA Community College team member, making her 1 in 20 in the entire nation to earn that distinction, and Rachel is on her way to Yale for the fall. So congratulations. And many thanks to advisors, Professor Nora Dawkins, Professor Tim Patton, Dr. Kim Carter, Director Shane Johnson, and Pedro Arguelles. Our reporter student newspaper, advisor Manuela Barco, who we all know very well, was a student actually here at the North Campus, and also was the editor-in-chief for the first newspaper of Miami, student newspaper of Miami-Dade College. Is Manolo here? Okay, there he is, absolutely. And so our reporter, again, was named top state college student newspaper in the state of Florida by the Florida College System Publications Association. Kudos, kudos to our student reporters. Our Access Creative Arts Magazine and Club, advisors Professor Carmen Bucher and Kathleen Noonan. Our Literary Arts Magazine received gold medalist rating by the Columbia Scholastic Press Association. Congratulations. And just a few staff awards and recognitions. Susie Guillaume, an academic advisor. I don't think I saw Susie this morning. She may be in the courtyard assisting students. But Susie was selected by the Knight Foundation as an emerging city champion for her pop-up bookshop and Miami Lit Fest idea, which will give residents in the community an opportunity to indulge in diverse self-published books. So we wish her well. Our MDC TV also received a Suncoast Emmy. Where's Mr. Rubalcava and his team? Congratulations. Carlton Daly received a Vanguard Award from an outstanding organization, BME, for his work and leadership with underrepresented students. Mr. Daly, where are you? And last but not least, we have a Hispanic woman of distinction in this room. She hails from our North Campus. She's going to be honored today at noon at the Signature Grand in Fort Lauderdale. We wish it was in Miami, but Fort Lauderdale's okay. For all of our Broward colleagues, won't you help me to honor and give a warm round of applause and congratulate our Dean of Faculty, Dr. Jacqueline Pena. Stand up. Well-deserved, and she's been all over social media. Latin Style, the organization, has recognized her all over social media. I think I saw something in the Sun Sentinel the other day. Very well deserved. Congratulations. And so there's just so much to congratulate ourselves and recognize ourselves about here at the North Campus, students, faculty, and staff. But I'm going to close my address today with a brief focus on the third strategic priority, institutional agility. And we all know that it takes funding to support the operational and educational aspects of the college. And on the legislative front this year, North Campus gratefully received close to $5 million in a special appropriation to renovate our gym into a state-of-the-art School of Justice training center for a total of just shy of $10 million. And Dr. Socorro, I know, is extremely pleased by that. We're grateful to Senator Oscar Brannen, state senator here in Florida, for championing this funding for us. And our legislative advocacy will continue next year because we actually need $11 million more to be able to progress with that project. But our advocacy will continue alongside our AFC colleagues and our UFMDC colleagues who work hand in hand with us and us with them in advocating for many, many, many diverse issues that are of relevance to all three of our organizations. Also aligned with strategic priorities of institutional agility are partnerships, and we have so many here at the North Campus. I can think of CIO Robert Parondo's area with the Dell Destination and Microsoft, and Edu Days as well, that were IT learning events here at the North Campus this year. Our STEM-infused Exploration Station Preschool, led by Yolanda Barotto. I'm not sure if I saw Yolanda this morning. She's probably back at the preschool with the children. But I had the opportunity to visit the preschool about 2 days ago and see really the most dedicated preschool teachers teaching and nurturing our students from 6 weeks old to 5 years old. And some of you have your children there. And my 19-year-old actually was a student of the preschool, and 3 of his teachers, and he went there at 6 weeks, and 3 of his teachers are still there. So the dedication of that place is just second to none. So congratulations to all at our preschool. Our Meek Center's work with Urban Craft Academy and the AARP, where's Mr. Miranda? Mr. Alfonso Miranda. Right there, our director, to train minority men in construction trades and women, and also to train 50-plus individuals for careers. Partnerships with our Miami Consular Corps to bring many exhibitions here. I already mentioned our food pantry for students, but the food pantry for students has attracted so many community and corporate partners that I know Professor Garman had a direct hand in enlisting. And our campus, because of your engagement, brought in approximately $6.6 million in grant funding this academic year to support student success initiatives. Give yourselves a round of applause. And lastly, you're going to be very excited about the campus improvements that are taking place. And Catherine beat me to it this morning because she said, I noticed the landscaping and how beautiful that landscape project is. If you didn't see it because you got here at the crack of dawn this morning, you'll be able to see it and enjoy it. The project is not over, but we've made considerable progress thanks to our Senior Director, Fermin Vasquez, and the district team. So thank you very much for that. Our college president yesterday spoke of the dedication of our campus services, public safety teams, network services, media services, all of the service teams that really make things happen behind and in front of the scenes that sometimes don't get the recognition that they deserve. And certainly today's event, our convocation, would not take place without some of those groups present. And so I'd like you to join me in a vote of thanks for our North Campus services and public safety teams led by Mr. Henry Thompson and Chief Victor Moreno. Let's give them a round of applause. And actually, I'm going to ask our campus services, public safety, and district facilities folks in the room to please stand because we want to see you and truly honor you. Please, I see some of you there, and on this side, please stand up. I never take for granted just how safe our campus is, just how safe our Meek Center is, and just the wonderful aesthetics and the cleanliness of this place. I never take that for granted. So many, many thanks to our teams, for our setup teams, our custodial teams, public safety. You truly, truly rock. So thank you very much. And so I'm truly coming to a close now because I think I've been on this stage for a very long time. And as you know, the cabinet members who I work with each and every day, I want to thank each and every one of you, and they're here in the front row. I just couldn't function without you. And I don't think I've ever said that publicly, but I want everybody to know that. And you'll be hearing from them, I think, later on in the program, but I want to convey my heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you for just truly being so dedicated and helping me to do what we have to do to serve students here at the North Campus. So for now, I'm actually going to have to leave. I'm not sure what time it is, but I have another convocation to lead at our sister campus, the Inter-American campus. And, I'm hoping that this year we can maximize on some natural synergies between the North and Inter-American campuses. And I hope that you will be willing to help me to do that. But now I'd like to thank our entire convocation committee led by Lee Toney and Jose Gondar and the committee. Thank you, Roger, for starting the applause. Many thanks to everyone, each and everyone, who collaborates to create community and to transform the lives of our students. I wish you a productive academic year together. We're going to do this again, and I know that we're going to continue to place students first at the North Campus and our Meek Center. Thank you very much, and you will see a fabulous video of some of the improvements that we are making here at the North Campus, led by our Senior Director, Fermin Vasquez, and his team. You're going to be impressed, trust me. Thank you so much.
Good morning, colleagues. Here on the big screen, I speak to you in reference to Miami-Dade College North Campus Support Staff Council and on behalf of our council members. I'm Teresa LaFleur, president of your North Campus chapter, which is one of 8 councils established on each individual campuses of Miami-Dade College. We welcome you back to the North Campus Convocation, bringing in our new 2017-18 academic year. Thank you, Madam President Harrison, for this opportunity to speak about the Support Staff Council. It provides a vehicle for full-time support, non-exempt employees to review policies, procedures, and work-related concerns that impact our specific group. And this is why it's important for support staff employees' involvement. The college wants to hear from you. The council also recommends changes favorable to the employees and Miami-Dade College to the provost, the appropriate campus president, and/or the designee. Recognizing that support staff employees are the pillar of support to our college, we've continued to move forward individually and collectively, working with our colleagues on every level, regardless to changes, adversities, or economic crises. We strive to become more creative and effective in order to represent the interests of full-time support staff employees and to reflect the college's mission for service satisfaction to our students and our community. To serve our colleagues and the college, I'll highlight just 4 visible projects that the North Campus Support Staff Council provides annually. We conduct meet and greets socials for full-time staff to be more informed and learn about opportunities to engage in the council's endeavors, and also have the opportunity to network with your colleagues. Provide 2 book scholarships in the amount of $200 each to support 2 qualified full-time support non-exempt employees continuing their educational endeavors here at MDC. Collaborate with our campus president and cabinet to present the annual Support Staff Appreciation and Professional Development Retreat. We also collaborate with other campuses' projects such as the High Tea Party fundraiser to support the North Campus Food Pantry for our students. And we conduct multiple campus fundraisers. While we have your attention, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our administration and all MDC employees who have aided us in accomplishing our goals this year. We hope that you will continue to look favorably upon us, finding that our causes are still worthy of your support. Support staff colleagues, join us every 3rd Thursday of the month for our meetings. Bring your concerns and ideas. Let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Greetings, faculty, staff, and our esteemed North Campus leadership team. Welcome back to an exciting, engaging, and change-making 2017-2018 academic year. One that will be filled with endless possibilities and dreams, ready to be explored and attained. I bring you greetings from the Miami-Dade College North Campus chapter of the Association of Florida Colleges, where our president is Mr. Mark Johnson. It is because of your membership that AFC is a premier organization which has been invested in the success of all students and proudly serving within the Florida college system since 1949. Collectively, we promote, represent, support fellow institutions, and provide to all students, as well as the citizens of Florida, a world-class college system, one like no other. It is because of you that AFC is the most inclusive higher education organization serving any college system in the nation. Aimed at serving the 28 Florida colleges, AFC represents and unites all employees, including our adjunct, part-time staff, our college president, campus presidents, and governing board of appointed trustees. We are a member-driven organization where individuals are not only connected to their work and their colleagues, but above all, we are united together by a legacy of service, commitment, action, and advocacy. This year, we will launch a variety of professional development workshop series to promote on-campus engagement. We will also feature our signature Emerging Learning, Language, and Literacy in partnership with the Confucius Institute, where members will have the opportunity to be immersed in the Chinese language and rich culture. We certainly appreciate and value your membership because in the end, membership is what it does and who we are and why we proudly serve. To strengthen our voice and our efforts for all college personnel, we need members to not only stay the course, but get involved. Because here at MDC, we know success and change is best achieved by working together. In closing, I invite each of you to save the date for our Welcome Back AFC General Meeting happening Thursday, September 21st. This meeting will address how we will not only advocate for the real issues, innovate and engage statewide for the new academic year, but how we, the members of AFC, will be change makers for Florida's 28 and beyond. My name is Daniela Pierre, your chapter vice president, and I thank you for your support and steadfast membership in AFC. Let's welcome 2017-2018.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. Harrison. Good morning to the deans, the cabinet, administration, faculty, staff, and friends. I'm here on my vacation doing a videotaped greeting for you. Well, actually, it's not vacation, it's leave, my 3-week leave after teaching 12 weeks all summer. Why am I here? Because I'm the idiot who answered her email. Anyway, this is vacation. Sunglasses means I'm on vacation. And what happens on my vacation is that I order pizza, sit on the couch, and watch Netflix. And this past weekend, I binged on The People versus O.J. Simpson and did intermittent changing of channels to CNN and Fox News the weekend of the incident in Charlottesville. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to say you know where your heart and soul resonate. That's an R word. Yesterday we heard the R word that the administration gave us, which was resilience. After being pummeled by the legislature and its lack of funding, we need to be resilient. But I was thinking about resilience and what I remember about resilience from my life, and I think of the cartoons we watched as kids, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Roadrunner, when a bulldozer would flatten them down to just about paper-thin size, and then in the next frame, the character was up and three-dimensional and playing again. And we laughed at it. But I have a better word than resilience. Tenacious is a better word. Hold on to our values so that we don't get mowed down. We have rights, we have responsibilities as faculty, and while some things might be out of our control, the union is here to make sure that we all abide by those rights and responsibilities, so that if you have somebody who begs you to take in another 1 or 2 students beyond your cap limit, you can say no. If you have a chair who gives you 7 goals to reach by the end of the academic year, you can say no because that violates the agreement that we have with the administration. We have to be responsible to ourselves. And I would ask how many of you made those calls to our legislatures, wrote letters to our legislatures, visited their Facebook pages, went to their offices when he asked you to. Do it this year. We cannot sit by and we cannot be bystanders as the entire world around us begins to change in a detrimental way. So when we come back to school this year, please come and see your union reps, see Sarah Garman, our union VP, see me, because we will ease you through all of the obstacles that get thrown in your way so we don't have to be resilient. We're going to remain standing. And I invite you to come to my office to see me at any time during the year. Welcome back. Have a fruitful year, have a successful year, be good to yourselves, and be good to your students without compromising any of your values or ethics.
The Student Government Association is an organization that serves the student body by fostering leadership development and by voicing their opinions on different matters. This year, Student Government Association is driven to carry on the legacy that boards before us have set. We strive to advance student life by addressing the concerns of the student body and empowering you all to become the change makers of North Campus. We intend to continue cultivating the abundance of diversity, opinions, and experiences that the students bring to the campus. We recognize that every student has the ability to be a leader on campus and within their communities, and we promote their initiatives to do so. Fortunately, our institution has already created a multitude of change makers over the years, and we hope to inspire students to make change and progress not only within their community, but globally. Through passionate collaboration, we can create change and show that we are truly the spirit of Miami-Dade College. We will also continue to keep you informed about important legislative issues that will impact not only Miami-Dade College, but the entire Florida college system. Staying informed on these issues will provide opportunity for greater unity and understanding on campus. We find it important to continue strengthening the connection between the student body and our on-campus organizations in order to accurately voice the opinions of the entire campus. We also plan to continue sustaining the partnerships with other student organizations. When we work together and speak with one voice, we can create a foundation for change on our campus and in our community. We pledge to serve, represent, and advocate for the student body. The Student Government Association at North Campus will empower students to become the prominent leaders of tomorrow. United, we can achieve greatness in all aspects of life. My name is Yesbel Alvaro. I'm the president of Student Government Association for the 2017-2018 school year, and we are excited to serve.
Hi everyone, my name is Kay Rubin, and I'm grateful for this opportunity to update you and to ask for your assistance and feedback during the 2017-2018 Colleges Learning Outcomes Initiatives. There are many ways for each of you to get involved in our college-wide Learning Outcomes Network for continuous improvement. To participate, please look for and consider completing our upcoming Fall College-wide Qualtrics survey. This survey will provide you an opportunity to share your thoughts about the proposed policies and procedures included in the assessment blueprint for learning outcomes assessment. The blueprint contains 5 areas, which include student learning outcomes policies and procedures, assessment measures, data collection, utilization of data to make decisions, and dissemination of policies and procedures. The learning outcomes at Miami-Dade College helps to increase student participation in college student learning outcomes assessment, known as the CSLOA, awareness and use of student learning data by participating in our assessment conversations, connections between curricular and co-curricular learning experiences, and the CLSOs by joining the Network for Improvement. Finally, please check in and stay connected via mdc.edu/learning outcomes, Office 365, and the Yammer app, which can be found in Office 365. We greatly appreciate your thoughts, input, and engagement.
Good morning, North Campus family. Give yourself a hand. I was asked to come up here and talk about North Community in Action. And in particular, what I'm going to talk about is the sexual assault awareness campaign that Dr. Harrison asked Andrea Plunkett and I to initiate 2 years ago, 2015. During that time, what we have done, we've collaborated with different agencies, the Roxy Bolton Rape Crisis Center, with the Malls Project, run by Director Evelyn Rodriguez. And what we've done is provide our students with information that allows them to know what to do just in case they find themselves in a difficult situation, that they have been raped or sexually assaulted. Our campus, believe it or not, is in the forefront as it relates to us providing students with information that will help keep them safe. And they also know and recognize that our college is behind them 1,000,000% as relates to them being safe on our campus. And I have a little PowerPoint here, as you can see the little name, the title one. We are also co-chairs of the Sexual Assault Awareness Day campaign, that in every April, we have our partners come in and speak to our students, share their experiences, their negative experiences as it relates to sexual assault that happens every day in our country to men, women, and children. So we want our students to be prepared and aware. Now, this slide right here deals with our first event that we held on April 8th, 2015, 2 days after my birthday, I should say, and was very successful. And we have an upcoming event this April 2018, and we want all of you to participate and encourage your students to join us. Now, we collaborate with a lot of programs. As I told you, the Sexual Assault Awareness Day campaign committee was initiated in 2015 by Dr. Harrison. The North Campus Cabinet have been awesome in regards to supporting us in this effort because, as you know, we believe students first. The Dean of Academic Affairs Office, the Dean of Students, the MALT program, the School of Justice, where my boss, thank you very much, is always behind me and pushing so that we can make sure that we provide our students with not only quality education, but to help them be safe. Social science, education, wellness, CT&D that helps me get my thing together with technology because I'm a little slow. Academic support, people who come to my aid, come to my classes to help me get the information out. And ask yourself this question: who wants to attend a college where they don't feel safe, where they have to deal with issues of harassment, sexual assault, bullying, low visibility in regards to public safety? We see our public safety officers making us have an environment that makes us feel safe. Now, these wonderful pictures over here are representatives from, of course, our Dean of Academic Affairs, Dean Jacqueline Pena, and the other three represent agencies and Roxy Bolton Rape Crisis Center, who joined us last year in spreading the word about what we need to tell our students, enabling them to be safe. Now, what do we want our MDC family to know? Because you're family. We want you to understand healthy sexuality and consent, what action steps we need to take as it relates to faculty and staff, action step for campus healthcare professionals who will be able to assist you with your students in case you find yourself in a difficult situation, and just in essence, providing you with information that Andrea Plunkett and I be able to provide you and the MALS program that tells you step by step on what you need to do if you find yourself in a difficult situation. We want everyone to feel safe because MDC believes students, faculty, and staff safety are always first. And I want to thank you guys too for being so awesome, so attentive, and God bless you.
Good morning. I said Director Rebecca Pelham must be here somewhere. And Ms. Layla, the coordinator, I said at the North Campus, invited me to join them on their student-led service journey. Where's the clicker? We'll do it that way. But they needed money. Since Tallahassee was broke, they raised the money themselves. We traveled to New Orleans to serve Youth Rebuilding New Orleans, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing housing to those in need, to justice through advocacy and empowerment for neighborhoods. They promote racial harmony and dignity through respect for housing. Our students work to rebuild the home of one resident, Miss Yolanda, who's on the next slide, I believe, who lost her home to Hurricane Katrina and subsequently fell victim to a stream of building contractor fraud. So we went to go help build her home. Not only did our students hang nearly all of the drywall in Miss Yolanda's new home, they also led collaboration efforts with an interstate nonprofit organization. They learned about a new community and culture. They worked as a team. They explored sustainability in real time. And they remained resilient, to use yesterday's term, in their efforts to change the world. I learned the extent to which our students really are change makers. And they learned some things too, which they can share.
Good morning, my name is Aris Lorenzo, and in this trip, I learned that each of us has something different to bring to the table. And I also learned that working together really creates a greater impact in the community. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ismary Williams, and through this wonderful experience, I've learned that a sense of community should not and will not ever be hindered by harsh circumstances. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Meshida El-Sayed, and through the Alternative Breaks New Orleans trip, I learned that it is important to give back to people within their respective communities, because that in turn promotes growth.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lauren Sainen, and through this trip, I learned that I can make a great impact through simple actions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, or good morning, wow. My name is Layla Asirfa. I just have to say this smoke is awesome. If you have a fear of public speaking, it really just helps the whole atmosphere. This trip was awesome. It really allowed students to not only make an impact on one of our interconnected communities, but also to be the impact. It allowed them to work together, as Murphy previously said, and the trip really would not have been possible without the support, the guidance of all of our MDC faculty, all of our staff. It really was a team and group experience, and we do believe that new experiences equate new brain connections, which lead to new possibilities. So they really did define the power of us, and it was just a priceless and wonderful experience. So thank you.
Nama Mike Lenigan, di Miami-Dade College. In Bahasan Indonesian, a language which many of us acquired this summer during the MDC Study Abroad Indonesia program, we were given an opportunity to bring together the elements of a course entitled Multicultural Communication and Relations and make it living, dynamic, infused, not confused, with our learning process as 10 brave souls, dedicated students and very innovative individuals, went to the world's, one of the 10 most economically developed countries in the world, the 4th largest nation in the world, the 3rd largest democracy in the world, and the largest populated Muslim nation in the world, Indonesia, to join a partner institution, Airlangga University in Surabaya, Indonesia. The folks who went were these people, 2 of whom I'll introduce you to shortly. It's only a short flight there, 6 to Los Angeles, if all the tires on the plane work, and then another, 12 to Hong Kong, and eventually arrival in Surabaya on the northern coast of Java in Indonesia. With the most incredible welcome and the most incredible engagement, not only in the culture, but the food, and soon to be experiential, academic, simulation, and service learning, our group took off and was hosted by one of the top 3 universities in Indonesia, one of the top 10 in Southeast Asia, Airlangga Universitas, whose 2 symbols are a shark and an alligator. Talk about a good combination, which connected with the sharks over here. And from the opening formality and incredible welcome in an academic setting to immediate immersion in our subtopic and focus, religious pluralism in a democracy, of which the United States is both one and sometimes struggling, and Indonesia is actually making rather notable progress, from which we felt and did learn a great deal. From bell ringing in the Chinese diaspora of Islam, there are many different facets of Islam in Indonesia, as well as other wonderful religions, to an introduction to the history, the precious history and politics by local visitations. This particular team of scholars from 5 campuses and from 6 different majors made their way forward in engaging the intellectual resources provided to us by our incredible hosts, including, as you'll notice, more and more food. The shirts that Robert and I are wearing, and Joshua also has in his collection, are from the home of the art of batik making. And among our cultural engagements was indeed learning how to develop basically batik artifacts. A lower picture left, that doesn't look like Joshua on a normal day, but the fact of the matter is that we were empowered to create our first batik, but also engage in that creative art during our visit there. Bahasa is the language, the lingua franca, although it really should be just the lingua Indonesia, because it is the pervasive language of Indonesia among 283 different ethnic groups with many different subdialects. Language, although introductory, was intensely presented by a wonderful faculty member who was at the center of our team in this particular photo. Our host university was an elegant place. I mean, perhaps aspiring to be as elegant as we've learned Fermin is making our campus to be, but it was a good comparative place to be located, and one with whom we were proud to share our visuals of our own college. Classes were indoor and outdoor. Now, sometimes people worry about security in different parts of the world. We had the privilege of not only being served by our Consul General of Surabaya, but we also had the privilege of visiting their location. And so that picture at that secured location was an indication of how interactive, with regard to both the careers, with regard to the politics, science, history, and culture, and then also the linkage of comparing and contrasting the United States was. This particular location, I'm sure Professor Remick would recognize it, is a studio where our students would learn gamelan. Gamelan is an interesting bell-sounding, not xylophone or marimba-sounding instrument, which the students became proficient over several introductory lessons. Saman, a local presentation of music and dance from Aceh province, which is in the western part of the island we were located, was also presented by fellow students from this particular school. Street art, but more important, multi-ethnic cultural representation was captured in this particular photo, in which many of our students won the hearts of many of the local folks in some of the marginally economic areas of Surabaya, the second largest city and one of the original trading cities of Indonesia. The Trawulan sites were the historic sites dealing with essentially, I'm sorry, here we go, the earlier, one of the earlier civilizations in Indonesia. Moving about the country outside of the city to a mountainous area in which we were exposed to some rather challenging opportunities. Challenging if you're me, but not challenging if you're dynamic scholars from Miami-Dade. So our overnight close to the mountain was to allow us to get up early and go at 2 in the morning to the mountain. So it looked wonderful in the early sun, but as we engaged with local villagers to witness interactions among Buddhist, Islamic, and other communities, we also got a flavor for the environment and the earth ethics as practiced in that part of the world. I swear that's a distortion. The big guy on the left isn't really that big. But this team felt very comfortable among the many local populations to which we were exposed. Sunrise Bromo, that does not mean Bromo Seltzer. That means Mount Bromo, and a day which would also take us from the heights of a mountain, watching a sunrise, to the depths of Madakaripura waterfall, both of which forms of transportation would have probably driven our risk management department crazy with regard to all-terrain vehicles and with regard to the challenges of motorcycle transportation. But a sunset up there puts everything else in context. And essentially, the history of both the agronomy, economy, environment, and so on, put into place with that active volcano in the background, was somewhat awe-inspiring. The volcanic ash on the open savanna sand valley was also somewhat amazing. Indiana Jones, one of the other people on the adventure wasn't seeking solace, but was just trying to catch up. Scholars have a way of putting their assistance in context. Now, if you wanted to get up to the still active volcano, some folks, including Mr. Joshua Elias, decided to engage these Indonesian mountain ponies, a very unique breed brought originally by the Spanish a long time before Indonesia was an independent country, and that would take them to the top of an active volcano. Again, risk management, relax. It really wasn't that active. They chose horses because some of them didn't really feel like climbing up the steps. But the fact of the matter was, at each step, we had student ambassadors from the university of different majors and incredible different ethnicities, religious beliefs, and a sharing spirit that was one of the most incredible interreligious as well as freely open exchanging forums you could imagine. Food, unfortunately, I never met a meal I didn't like, but the people who were so gracious in introducing us to their various specialties. One of the oddities was we very seldom got to dessert, not that it wasn't offered, but why waste the time when you had the predilection for all this other wonderful food. This is the opening to a long, long, long journey into a hidden waterfall, which we arrived at on the backs of different motorcycles over a long terrain. No problem with my scholars, but this carcass grabbing onto a very small Indonesian was something to see. And so, again, I always thought, defer to the students. They know what they're doing. And then when they said, sure, we can do it, Dr. Lenigan, got a problem with that? I would have to say, no, but let me be on the last motorcycle. As we completed our time there in the Bahasa Language Facility, an incredible facility with whom we may eventually, should we choose to, explore Skyping language, introductory language classes with our colleagues, we were presented with certificates, not just of completion, because the 5 formal seminar sets were also graded, treated like, in fact, they were academic enterprises and with incredible academic results. I, being sensitive about that particular sign, given recent events in the United States, was fascinated to find out thumbs up is actually okay in Indonesia. But the rector of their university and his assistant, Enrique Sepulveda there, and I were giving a thumbs up because they were so impressed with the quality of our students in discussions, from our medical anthropologist wannabe to our future world leader wannabe to our multilingual physicist wannabe and so on, that they had come to join to see if in fact there might be other things besides just study abroad that might be contemplated in the future. To be honest, I was both delighted, awed, not shocked, because we produce and we transform the lives of incredible students. Mount Khalid was another of the last 2-day experiences. You might note the raincoats, you might note the vehicles. An action shot of that would have shown many of us in different positions. Some of us in prayer, some of us in awe, some of us hanging on. But the students said, Dr. Lenigan, haven't you got the courage to do this? And I said, absolutely. Let me go in the last vehicle. Our course was ICID authorized, so we did service learning, and our course was GCELS related certified. And we included basically looking not only at the natural agriculture, but hydroponics while we were there. It was an amazing, incredible experience. And Indonesians who profess, and I think actually have every right to, profess food security, a huge issue, are very sparing in many aspects of their agriculture and working on areas in which they think it could improve. For that, we've got to love and appreciate those folks we met and celebrate the future people among the university folks and maybe some of our own students who will help improve upon that. Service learning included some time at a very warm and engaging orphanage. And again, it was fascinating. And the sharing, everything from Spanish lessons, which I found hard to believe, but incredible and acceptable and embraceable, to much more. As we closed down came to the end of the 2 weeks, Dr. Joko Donoso presented us not just with another wonderful artifact. In fact, this shirt that I'm wearing, because the first one they gave me was Indonesian large, but not American huge. And so, but it also represented an embrace, an effort to say basically, where can we go next? What can we embrace? And the quality of what was presented in that final departure and the leadership presented said our group had exceeded expectations. How would you measure that? Well, the next and final day gave proof. No, affirmed the maturity, the quality, and the comfort and competence of the education of each of our scholars. We were hosted at a rather unique Islamic higher education boarding school whose leadership was present, and one of whose first questions was, why do Americans hate Muslims? And we felt so refreshed that there was that sense of comfort in being able to raise a question among people who had come there specifically, among other things, to explore religious pluralism and democracy. And so after I gave them a boring civics lesson about sometimes even majorities don't win the presidency, my students actually basically exchanged some incredible insights from both their personal as well as cross-cultural, academic and experiential learning from there. Much to my delight and surprise, we were on the premise of one of my own personal Indonesian heroes, Absalam Wahid, who was the leader who brought the concept of Pancasila, the idea that everyone should love and participate, work, and improve upon their government, but no government should choose to favor any one religion. And much to my delight, we had the privilege of paying a brief homage on that site. Our closing meeting, well, there's that bald guy. I don't know, he followed us around a lot. But we met with a teacher education college where after an incredible concert in which some of our students, because they were also integrating some music from our country, responded. But the closing discussion, as if in a well-designed interdisciplinary course at North Campus, hint, hint, it was about harmony. And it was a frank and candid discussion among artists, among political scientists, philosophers, and local leaders. Leaving was not an easy thing to do. In fact, the last song at the last event was Leaving on a Jet Plane, which most of my students didn't know, but I was old enough to know. So we enjoyed that. But again, and so 25 happy, well, not so happy, but reflective hours later, we were back home to grow and thrive. But, you know, again, I like to give scholars the last word. So I'd like to ask Josh Elias, the Vice President at Kendall Campus for this coming year, to share some thoughts briefly at this time. And then I would like to ask Robert Munoz, the multilingual physicist in his future, who's from North Campus in Hialeah, to share their closing thoughts on what this meant to them. Josh?
Thank you, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Lenigan, for that awesome presentation. I'd say the one thing I took from being in Indonesia, and the one thing I think everyone should study abroad, is other than the food, of course. Like, the food was amazing. You get to study abroad, you get to try food from around the world. But it's just how connected we are, like, around the world. We were literally on the opposite side of the globe in Indonesia. It was like a 12-hour difference from Miami. And we were meeting with students that were our age. And I was completely shocked when my friend Iqbal asked me, like, hey, do you have an Instagram? You mind if I look through it? Or my other friend Ika, after asking me for relationship advice, went on to tell me about how the Miami Heat were going to go to the finals. I barely even follow basketball here, and he knew more about the NBA than I did. But it's just, in times like this where like the nation is very divided, the world kind of feels like chaotic, study abroad kind of showed me that, like, even though we could be a different religion, we could be on the other side of the world, we're all the same, and we can all live in harmony. So thank you, and to my friend Robert.
I just want to give a big thanks to Miami-Dade College for having this program, and I really appreciated the integration that I experienced over there, meeting everybody, and in a whole different world, where they greet you with such open arms and such warmth that here we really don't see that much, and I really just was grateful for having that whole experience. Thank you.
And they were truly more than ambassadors. They were infusers. They were transformers. That video slide presentation, which there's a longer version of, but we truncated, was produced by Melissa Hurtado from Homestead, who was a member of our team, who couldn't be with us today because she's running Coral Castle, I guess, and Joshua Elias. And likewise, from 4 weeks ahead of time to prepare for the semester, for academic pre and post classes, We were more involved in alchemy than strictly academic education, and I think the proof that has been generated will reverberate. Any of you interested in study abroad, any ways to project that, or if you're recruiting students, please do take an interest. It's not a rich person's sport. The college found support. One of my students was homeless that went with us. There are ways to find resources for people who need to be on experiences like this. So thank you again, and thanks for being my colleagues.
I think I actually forgot all the stuff I was about to say. Good morning. I'm Carlton Daly. I'm Director of the TRIO Student Support Services Program here at Miami-Dade College North Campus. I see myself more as a steward of a very important American legacy. The TRIO programs were started in 1964, at the end of the Civil Rights Movement, and it actually was birthed through President Lyndon B. Johnson's Higher Education Act and his war on poverty. It's actually called TRIO because it started out with 3 programs: Upward Bound, Student Support Services, and Educational Talent Search. Over the next 20 years, they'd add 4 additional programs: Veterans Upward Bound Math Science, an EOC program, and a Ron McNair program. Excuse me. In 2005, Miami-Dade College North Campus had a Student Support Service program that came to our campus under the leadership initially of Ms. Waifani Coffey. The grant was written by the then Director of Academic Advisement, Dr. Erie Wilson. I came over in 2006, and that's actually when the party started. Over the next 11 years, the TRIO program has graduated over 520 students. We've maintained a retention rate of well over 90%, and close to about 94% of our students have remained in good academic standing. Our students have gone off to schools, well, they've done their bachelor's degree programs here, FIU throughout most of the state university system. Some have gone off to Columbia College in Chicago, to Johns Hopkins University, and actually one of our students just went off to University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. I had this long speech talking about what TRIO does, and I think oftentimes we don't personalize what we do. So I think the most important thing TRIO does is mentor. And oftentimes, mentor is just used as a word that I'm going to mentor you. And I think the most effective mentors are people who don't say they're going to mentor you, they just do what they do, and we learn from what they do. So, in essence, TRIO is actually Aaron Duty, Stephanie David, Ian McMayo, and Susan Valdez. We actually wanted all 3 of them to be here today, but unfortunately, or fortunately for us, Aaron is covering the Meek Center. Stephanie's in TRIO covering the office, and Susan Valdez, soon to become Dr. Susan Valdez, is actually doing her rounds at Palmetto General Hospital. What TRIO does is mentor students and show them the way. All 3 of our peer mentors that I've mentioned all have an excuse why they're not successful. As one has said, I come from a family of criminals. He actually has about 15 family members who are in the criminal justice system. One suffers from lupus, and she studies too hard, her hair falls out. One suffers from a mental disease. But that has never stopped them from doing well. And because of their presence and them actually earning their AA degrees from Miami-Dade College, going on to get their bachelor's degrees, they've shown a current crop of TRIO students how to do it by being dedicated. TRIO is a little bit of a combination of the Honors College and student life, and added with the food pantry. Because what we do is show students what you need to do. When people say that academic advisement should be intrusive, it's intrusive in the TRIO where I might ask a student, how are things going with your girlfriend? And somebody say, why are you asking about this girlfriend? The student I ask why I'm asking why about his girlfriend is because his girlfriend broke up with him and he was heartbroken. He literally wanted to drop out of school. Well, it might sound kind of trite to you, but you're 19 years old and that's your first love, and the girl breaks up with you, that's probably the end of your life. When we say we are involved in non-cognitive learning, we have our students volunteer for the Theodore Gibson Oratory Competition or model or mentor the role models. That's what we do. TRIO is very hands-on. It's very family-oriented. We create a community where students feel very, very comfortable and feel like they're a part of a greater family. Now, TRIO could not do what it does if it was not for the collaboration of some of our departments. So I'd like to thank Shameen Garrison, Andrew Carbon, and Dr. Gray for paying Fred Tony, Josh Arahona, and Gina Romeo, who actually work with TRIO on a regular basis. Unfortunately, we couldn't pay them for the work that they do, but they are just as responsible as any member of my staff for the success of our TRIO students. If you realize that oftentimes I'm always in the TRIO, in the financial aid office, trying to advocate for students, trying to get money, trying to do something to enhance the lives of our students. Mr. Arahona I think, is the best academic advisor, club advisor throughout Miami-Dade College, because the work he does with the young men from the Minors to the Futures is unparalleled. What he does is not just give of himself, but he gives his time, his money at times, just to ensure that young men see a way, and I am always in his debt. Like I said, there are 7 TRIO programs, and this is a little short synopsis of what TRIO does. Hopefully this thing's work this time. All right, so that's a little bit about the TRIO programs, what we do, some of the services we offer in terms of peer mentoring, leadership development. All right. The TRIO way is a value concept that comes up from a culture that's created by our peer mentors, where our peer mentors and our alumni are always very visible. We actually have study nights and Tuesday night where the office is open until 9 o'clock. We often have some of our TRIO alumni who are at FIU or at Barry or actually in their bachelor's program here come back to the office and actually study in our office with the regular Miami-Dade College undergraduates to see how it should be done. It's almost a mandate of all TRIO alumni that when they're home on spring break, that they come back to the office just to spend time with the current crop of TRIO students to realize that this is more than just you, and they can perhaps give a great advice and a greater lessons of how to navigate Miami-Dade College, but also the upper division universities. These are some of our pictures from our college tour. Actually, the picture at the top is actually not a Confederate flag statue. It's actually a picture of Mary Mathal Mathoon. The picture to the right is actually one of our first TRIO days, what was entitled TRIO Girls Rock at the Miami Museum of Science. Like I said, the TRIO students are very involved in community service. I think the top picture is a picture of some of the TRIO students with Willa Valmarama with Ready to Lead. The bottom picture is a bunch of TRIO students walking in to help with the pack for meals. And that picture is just me looking very handsome in an orange tie. These are some of the things we do in terms of financial literacy. We actually have a very good finals boot camp where we actually shut the office down and all we focus in is on math and science to ensure students are ready for their finals. Here we go again. Eventually, if I keep pressing all the buttons, one of them will actually work. These are some of the workshops we have. We have many workshops we do with relationships we actually at the end, because eventually most of the workshops end up with talking about why you men so bad. So we've talked about everything from love to marriage, but then we had to put a halt on our relationship discussions. This is actually one of our best moments when we actually have our senior or our graduation ceremony for our students who are graduated and leaving to go up to other division schools. This was actually this year where we have Ashley and Joey who are preparing for a national tour. Ashley Figueroa is actually now on an aircraft carrier someplace defending the country. And actually in 2016, the Miami-Dade College North Campus gave out about 160 scholarships, and about 20% of those scholarships actually went to TRIO students. This is the National TRIO Day celebration here held at the North Campus with TRIO staff, students, and alumni from throughout the state of Florida. And this is, of course, graduation day and students on the TRIO College Tour. Now, TRIO would not be successful if we didn't have the support of Teresa Grandal and Resource Development. Over the past 11 years, I think we've brought in close to over $3 million in grants that supports the grant going forward. The other thing I'm very proud of is that Miami-Dade College is at the forefront of a very important initiative for the TRIO programs. The TRIO programs are very hesitant to work with immigrant families. It could be just what it is, but so we are at the forefront of ensuring that the TRIO programs nationally look to see how best we can service students from immigrant backgrounds. It might sound very simple to us, but a lot of the TRIO programs are in the South, and they focus on purely, quote-unquote, American students. And so as we advocate and we form partnerships with our colleagues in Arizona, Texas, and California, it's very important that we continue to fight for immigrant families. There's a great divide between here, us in South Florida, and even our colleagues in North Florida, where when we talk about putting applications in Spanish or having people who speak Creole on your staff, sometimes they look at me with this blank face like, why you have to do that? And it's an issue that I think that TRIO nationwide is something that we need to advocate for, and I think that's something that we'll be pushing as we go forward. In 2015, Miami-Dade College North Campus for the first time hosted the TRIO Olympics, and I think it was very interesting that we, for the first time, were the only college at the time that hosted the Upward Bound Olympics. We did not have an Upward Bound program. And I remember people asking me, so where's the Upward Bound program students from Miami-Dade College? I tell them that we didn't have one. On September 1st of this year, we can now say we have an Upward Bound program. So part of my master plan to rule the world via TRIO is finally beginning to take fruition. So we'll be serving 60 students at North Miami Beach, and we'll actually hope to grow what the TRIO does here, not only at Miami-Dade College, but throughout Miami-Dade County. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the day.